Hello, fellow preppers. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. Little video response to, I believe it was, Equip2Endure's question. Is a Swiss Army knife a good EDC knife? Well, to answer the question directly, yes, it is. But, as Tony Robbins likes to say, if you ask a better question, you get a better answer. And the real question is, what do you expect out of that knife? What purpose does that knife serve? What do you want that knife to enable you to accomplish? Now, a lot of us survivalists or preppers, people look at us like we're a bunch of Rambo road warriors. And, if that's what you're expecting your knife to do is so you can be Rambo or road warrior, then this ain't the knife. You need to go get a Rambo knife, a life knife, a survival knife, right? But if you think about it, if you're living in the city, EDC, what's going to happen? What are you going to need a knife for? Well, basically a knife's to do what? Cut. What do you want to cut? A rope, a piece of paper, an envelope, a box? What is it you're expecting that you're going to have to cut? If you're in a car and you get trapped and you have one of these first responder knives where, you can break the glass and cut the seatbelt. There's all kind of knives. What's my everyday carry? Well, normally, I got my keys on me. I've got this little Swiss Army knife that I've had for so many years, decades, that I've worn the insignia off. It has a little knife. I've used it. Open a letter or a box, cut a small piece of rope, nail file. In case I tear a nail, I can file it down. Something that's handy, these little teeny scissors. They do come in handy. To me, the main reason I carry this isn't because of the knife. I like the tweezers. Working out here in the rural environment, or in the shop, get a splinter, you can pull it out. Then you have a toothpick, but I don't think I've ever used it, and it's dirty. I'd have to boil it first. I don't think I really want to stick it in my mouth. But, that's what I carry. Is that much of a knife? Well, it does the job, does what I expect it to do. I made a video. I got the Leatherman Sidekick, which is real handy. And it's got a saw on it. Easy access knife. I already had a regular Leatherman, but I don't like having this on the belt. I just don't. Having it in the pocket just didn't seem to work, but since this has a nice little clip, it works for me. Plus it fits in that little fifth pocket that I never used anyway. And then sometimes I got my new buck knife because it's made in America, USA. Does the job. Sharp. I really need to cut something. But I have all these knives out here. I've got a Leatherman micro tool. And I've got a nice buck knife here. But do I really expect any of these knives to really get me out of a survival situation? Here's an old buck I used to carry. Tip's broken. I should send it back and get a new one. When I first lived up here, I had this knife on me all the time, but I kind of replaced it with this one. But this was one I used to keep on the key ring too. Was always using this knife. But EDC, what, am I going to go running through the woods here? I don't think so. If I lived in the city, what am I going to do? Sit there and fight off a bunch of people with the knife? I don't think so. I mean, the most important thing that you carry is knowledge up here. Get some experience, some know-how. Situations, survival situations. What's the most important thing? You need to be able to breathe. You know, if something happens, a biological attack, then you need a gas mask. But short of that, what's the next most important thing? It's not food, it's not water. It's regulating your body temperature. You need a jacket to keep warm, or a blanket. Maybe a tarp if it's, you know, really wet, snowing and raining, to keep the rain off of you so you don't freeze to death. Or you need that tarp maybe to create some shade so you don't die of, you know, heat stroke, heat exhaustion, hypothermia. Body overheats. That's the next important thing. And then water. You know, you can only go, what, 3 or 4 days without water? Well, you can only go 3 or 4 hours if your body temperature isn't regulated. So my point is that, you know, the focus on equipment, yeah, it's nice to have a knife with you. And sure, if you want to carry a Swiss Army knife, by all means, it could come in handy. But you need the knowledge. And it's not really the equipment. It's like I say, it's not the tool, it's how you use it. So whether it's a real Swiss Army knife or if it's a cheap knockoff, I mean, you know, a lot of times these are giveaways. Today's woodworker sent this in the mail. I mean, I never carry it, but, you know, I got it around. You know, here's a pretty knife somebody gave me for my birthday. I mean, I don't think I ever used it. It's two-sided. I guess it's a good stabber. You know, it looks cool, but, you know, a little razor knife. These come in handy. So once again, it's not the tool, it's how you use it. I mean, one of my subscribers sent me a nice Dale Earnhardt knife. Collector's tin. You know, nice gesture. Appreciate it. You know, also sent me, let's see, what do you call this one? The old, a case knife. Good knife. Made in USA. Be a good one if you only had, you know, just one knife. But once again, what are you going to use it for? Basically to cut. Right? So it's not the tool, it's how you use it. And beyond that, it's the knowledge and know-how that you have. So whether or not you have a Leatherman or a Swiss Army knife or a cheap knockoff, that's really, to me, it's not all that important. And the focus is all wrong. You don't need to spend money on a bunch of stuff. Like I said, this is, people have given me like this Winchester knife. It came in a set. I mean, you know, it's a nice knife. But you just don't need to go out and spend a lot of money on these things. I think you can go to Walmart, and I think Winchester and Remington, they all have knife sets out with a multi-tool and a knife. I mean, for most situations, it's plenty good. You know, if you think you're going to be out there for years in the woods surviving, well then yeah, then you probably do want something, you know, a nice $100 or $200 knife. But I mean, really? Is that really what it's going to come down to? It could. I'm not saying it wouldn't. But to be focusing your attention on the knife and debating it, I think it's really missing the whole point about prepping. I could be wrong. It's just my opinion. I mean no respect to Equip2Endure. He puts out a lot of good videos, reviews a lot of cool products, but I don't know. I mean, just spending all that time talking about products when it's the knowledge and know-how that's going to make the difference in the survival situation. Because you could have whatever is considered the best knife, but if you don't know how to use it, you don't know what you're doing, or you're doing the wrong thing, or you're doing it in the wrong order, then you ain't going to survive. So you got to prepare your mind, prepare your skills. And then you'll be able to make do with what you have on hand. But to me, whatever feels good carrying, you know, if it fits in your pocket or fits in your purse or your pouch, whatever you carry, not too heavy, it's comfortable, fits in your hand, does the job. I mean, I look for, you know, made in USA, good steel. That, you know, those are the qualities to look for in a knife, is the good steel and how it fits, how you want to use, you know, if you use it, does it hold its edge? Can you sharpen it? You know, there's a lot of knives out there, a lot of money, but I just don't focus my attention on knives and the tools is so much. And you get those bases covered, you can always improve, but it's, you know, you guys see, well, if you watch my videos before, you see what I buy: beans, rice, bullets. I mean, I guess I already have my base covered, like I said. You know, I've got my everyday carry. So, you know, this was under 30 bucks on Amazon. Just find out what works for you. And, like, the most important thing, people, is that if you fail to prepare today, you're preparing to fail tomorrow.